Bueno, este es el vídeo del primer mes de navegación, ¿no? Con Willy. Y bueno, la verdad es que el resumen, que no sé cómo se puede resumir un mes, porque...
Han pasado muchas cosas.
Eso es, han pasado muchas cosas, hemos aprendido muchas cosas, pero todavía nos queda por aprender mucho. Y
Yo
todavía...
la verdad es que no puedo más aguantar a este tío, que es un pesado, pero por el resto bien. ¡Y me huelen los pies!
Bueno, hoy me he cambiado los calcetines, o sea que tiene que mejorar, la relación solo tiene que mejorar. No, la verdad, bromas aparte, muy contentos y esta es una prueba de vídeo, si sirve, perfecto, ¿vale? Venga, hasta luego.
¡Hasta luego!
We are water.
Day 35 of the Barcelona World Race, and the leaders are still around 200 miles from this south-moving cyclonic storm. There's still potential for 40 to 50 knot winds, but this morning they were in not much more than 30, although with large waves and plummeting temperatures, making life very uncomfortable for these two leaders. Chevrolet Puigdemont really backing off and slowing down over the past 24 hours to allow the storm to pass south ahead. Gaius Centros Auditivos back up to 13 knots as they exit the high pressure, whereas Renault Captur slowing now to less than 10 knots boat speed as they enter the same system. We Are Water making good steady progress to the east now, One Planet One Ocean just crossing a ridge of high pressure, and Spirit of Hungary crossing the 20° east longitude at 5 AM this morning and now into the Indian Ocean with the rest of the fleet. So, leaderboard for Tuesday, February the 3rd, and Chevrolet Puigdemont leads Neutrogena by 160 miles. Neutrogena have reduced this deficit by about 70 miles over the past 24 hours. You can really see the effects of Chevrolet's more conservative approach in the face of this storm. Gaius Centros Auditivos have also reduced their deficit by about 90 miles, while Renault Captur have dropped back. They were within 150 miles of Anna Corbet and Gerald Marin, now about 260 miles between the two, as Renault enter the high pressure system and Gaius exit it. We Are Water making good progress, 12 to 13 knot averages. One Planet One Ocean slightly slower over the past 24 hours, but back up to 10 knots this morning. And Spirit of Hungary around the 10 knot average mark, having crossed into the Indian Ocean early this morning.
It's sunny, it's warm, it's like in, it's like in the South Atlantic, more than in the Southern Ocean. So you have the Speller Cup, you have 18 knots of wind speed, it's pretty hot outside, so t-shirt short weather. Well, at the moment we are losing a little bit distance on them, but that was predictable because they have moved out of the high pressure system before us, so they had more wind last night. I think now we have the same wind, so probably the distance to them will stay stable, and I think we hope that with the stronger conditions which are coming up, we can make up some ground. So I think now we are 260 miles behind. That's not a lot for the World Race, so I think there will be a real fight for third place now. From my point of view, the boat is really nice reaching when there's some wind. Less fast dead downwind and medium, like last night. I think there we're suffering a little bit. But in the conditions which are coming up, strong wind, downwind, I think the boat is really good. When we had the strong conditions of South Africa, we were gaining quite a little bit on the other boat. So I think that are conditions which the boat likes. The life on board is really comfortable because we get along quite really well. We have tons of food to eat, so in the end we had taken too much food with us, we think. Sometimes we have three to four meals per day. So I think Sebastian and me, we have a good chance to have to inscribe at Weight Watchers at our return to Barcelona. I think we might be the first team in the Barcelona World Race which actually gained weight and not lost weight. But I think it's good because we have to eat to perform.
Earlier we spoke to Jörg Reachers on Renault Captur in fourth. He and Sebastian Audigan are enjoying sunshine, warm temperatures and 18 knot winds. Jörg commenting that it was far from a typical Southern Ocean day. However, these gentler conditions come at a price, as they signify that Renault Captur is entering the tail end of the high pressure system which so slowed Gaius Centros Auditivos for 4 or 5 days. The high will move north, hopefully allowing Renault Captur to avoid the worst of its super-light conditions, but it will still see Jorgen Sebastian losing some of the miles they've managed to gain on third-placed Anna Corbeil and Joan Marin. This morning there was about 265 miles between the two boats, rather than the 150 they had yesterday. Though, as a very optimistic Jorg points out, that's still a huge improvement from the 400-mile deficit they had just a few days ago. Jorg commented that he and Seb both felt that Renault Captur's optimum performance really came into play in stronger reaching conditions, so they'll be confident they can hang on to the third boat, stay in the same system as the winds pick up. Otherwise, all seems very happy on board. They're eating very well, Jorg even joking that they might need to go on a diet at the end of the race, having apparently packed too much food, and life is comfortable for them both. Life is distinctly less comfortable for the leading two boats in the fleet, with Cheminée Pujala and Neutrogena facing the worst of this cyclonic Southern Ocean storm in the next 24 hours or so. Hubert Lemonnier, Assistant Race Director, explains the procedures in place to monitor conditions and ensure the competitors' safety.
So the race direction, in case of a storm regarding the boats, first needs to analyze in details the weather forecast. With Marcel Ventris, we have a deep look at the situation with, in the bulletin, in the weather forecast, so we make sure that the situation, we know everything about the situation. Then we contact with the boat, first to check with them if the situations are okay and what's the future of this situation. As well, we want to show them that we are looking after them, that we are close to them in this storm, and we have a safety approach in the relationship with those boats. Then we make contact with the team on shore to make sure that they're aware of the situation and to prove them as well that the race management is really, really with the boats while they are experiencing the situation, those bad conditions. And we make a deep lookout at the boat as well during the night, every 30 minutes, to make sure the heading plus the speed of the boat is in reality with what the weather forecast is, to make sure there is no problem. So in order to be reactive, we also contact the MRCC of the region concerned by the storm. So we already have a contact with those guys, and we make sure that in case of a crisis, we can activate and organize a response in the region if one of the boat needs help or needs any search and rescue operations. So all this, that's what the race management has to do in this situation. We can see the tropical storm heading towards the southeast. Pujala had to reduce the speed, and now they're having a south wind in the south direction with around 30 knots. So they're going to start to squeeze just behind the storm and probably get some speed and head towards the east with the wind that's going to be in the next hours a bit decreasing and coming to the west. We have Neutrogena here. Neutrogena is a bit in the same situation. More southwest wind, 25 knots, and going a little bit in that direction, waiting for the storm to go, and they're going to go behind it. Here we can see Gais and Renault. Different situation. They had to deal with the high pressure, but once the high pressure within the next hours, probably tonight, will head north, it's going to give some space for the western wind and push them towards the east direction. Here we have We Are Water. We can see on the track that they went south, now heading to the east. They're having some good pressure. They have 15 knots of wind, and they had some good speed within the last ranking. They're heading towards the east as well. We have One Planet, One Ocean, who had to deal with the high pressure, and on the ridge, it's been quite confusing with a lot of disturbed wind. So they had very slow speed, and now they're going to start to speed up a little bit. Spirit of Hungary crossed the Engria, the Cape Good Hope this morning. They had to deal with a bit of upwind wind as well, and it's going to be in this situation for the next hours. They had a good average speed, and now heading towards the Indian Ocean.
South Oceans are a tough area. It's not really for us, not for the human.
Inhòspit, no hi ha ningú, no hi ha res, no hi ha vida humana. L'únic que hi ha és aigua.
Les possibilités d'avoir des glaces.
Una natura molt forta, hi ha vent molt fort.
Le vent froid est plus lourd, donc il est plus costaud.
Els fronts passen un darrere l'altre amb molta violència a vegades.
It's arrogant to say that you can take on Mother Nature, because you can't, but it's sort of nice to measure yourself up a little bit.
Els albatros és l'únic ser viu que més o menys t'acompanya. T'arriba a omplir potser el buit aquest del ser viu que et falta, no?
C'est toujours des vents forts, c'est toujours des mers assez tourmentées, donc forcément des possibilités de casse technique. On prépare le bateau pour affronter des conditions moins clémentes que l'Atlantique.
Il faut que le bateau soit en bonne configuration.
It is a fast, tough, cold sailing. On one side this is difficult, on the other side it's very fascinating.
Una llamada instintiva a todos los navegantes, es decir, el Gran Sur, ¿no? Yo no lo he visto.
It's important for us having somebody in the team who knows how to handle the south, and which also for our performance is a big plus.
Tengo tantas ganas de verlo que a lo mejor espero no decepcionarme.
For me, the attraction of being out there is that it's pure, it's elemental, and there are very few places in the world that you can truly find that.
Jo no havia estat mai en cap lloc tan allunyada de la vida humana.
Són llocs que sempre els veus al mapa, llocs molt llunyans que sempre dius, ostres, però estaria bé navegar per aquests passatges.
Quand on passe 3 semaines, un mois dans le sud, on est content de remonter après.